Imagine having so much power that governments know your name, intelligence agencies track your movements, and entire economies depend on your businesses. Now imagine losing all of that overnight. In 2022, sanctions hit Russia with unprecedented force. Private jets were seized, yachts were confiscated, bank accounts were frozen. Luxury villas worth hundreds of millions suddenly became untouchable. The world believed Russia's billionaire class was finished. But the world was wrong, because while cameras focused on the oligarchs who were losing everything, another group was quietly adapting. They moved assets across continents, built invisible networks of companies, shifted ownership structures, created financial mazes so complex that even regulators struggled to follow them. Some disappeared from public view entirely. Others transformed their wealth into industries the world couldn't afford to disrupt. And one billionaire became so deeply embedded in global food supplies that sanctioning him threatened millions of people far beyond Russia. These are not stories about luxury, they're stories about survival. Because in modern geopolitics, the most powerful billionaires aren't the ones who own the biggest yachts. They're the ones who can survive when governments come after them. This is the story of the Russian billionaires Putin can't fully control. Chapter 1. The man who hid inside the global food chain. Most people have never heard of Dmitry Mazepin, and that's exactly how he likes it. Unlike celebrity billionaires who buy football clubs and fill social media with photos of private islands, Mazepin built his fortune in a far less glamorous industry: fertilizer. At first glance, it sounds boring, but fertilizer is one of the foundations of modern civilization. Without it, crop yields collapse, food prices surge, entire countries face shortages. While the world focused on oil and gas, Mazepin quietly built influence inside a supply chain that helps feed hundreds of millions of people. His companies became major players in global agricultural markets. And with every shipment, his leverage grew. Because when nations depend on your products, you're no longer just a businessman, you're infrastructure. That distinction would become critical when sanctions arrived. While other oligarchs scrambled to protect yachts and luxury properties, Mazepin's empire occupied a very different position. Governments could target individuals, but disrupting food production carried consequences far beyond politics. Suddenly, sanctions became complicated. And complexity is where powerful people thrive. Chapter 2. The yacht built to disappear. Most billionaires buy yachts to show off. Andrey Melnichenko built one that looked like it belonged in a science fiction movie. Sailing Yacht A wasn't simply a luxury vessel, it was a statement. Stretching nearly 470 feet long, the futuristic structure looked less like a yacht and more like something designed by a military engineer. The price tag reportedly exceeded $500 million. But the most interesting part wasn't what people could see, it was what they couldn't. As international pressure mounted, many oligarchs watched assets become liabilities. Luxury suddenly attracted unwanted attention. The larger the yacht, the easier it was to find, unless that yacht was designed for mobility. Unlike mansions, private islands, or office towers, a ship can move. It can cross jurisdictions. It can disappear into international waters. And when sanctions arrived, mobility became one of the most valuable assets money could buy. Chapter 3. The billionaire who erased himself on paper. Alexei Mordashov faced a problem. Regulators knew where his wealth was, or at least they thought they did. Before sanctions fully arrived, ownership structures began shifting. Shares moved, entities changed, corporate layers multiplied. To outsiders, it looked chaotic. To insiders, it looked strategic. Because modern wealth doesn't always sit inside a bank account, it exists across trusts, holding companies, investment vehicles, and ownership chains spread across multiple jurisdictions. Finding the money becomes one challenge, proving who controls it becomes another. And sometimes, those are two completely different things. Chapter 4. The Steel Empire Nobody Could See. Vladimir Lisin built his fortune through steel, but steel wasn't his greatest asset, information was. In today's world, billion-dollar supply chains depend on data, shipping routes, inventory systems, trading networks, financial transactions. The companies that control information often control everything else. While others focused on physical assets, Lisin invested heavily in systems designed to protect operations from outside interference. Because a factory can be targeted, a digital network is much harder to attack when nobody fully understands how it works. Chapter 5. Putin's most powerful ally. If Russian business had a shadow ruler, many would point toward Igor Sechin. For years, he occupied one of the most influential positions in the country's energy sector. His reach extended far beyond corporate boardrooms. Energy wasn't simply business, it was geopolitics. Pipeline routes affected nations, oil contracts influenced governments, strategic resources became tools of power. But proximity to power creates a paradox. The closer you are to the center, the harder it becomes to disappear. And when international scrutiny intensified, visibility became a liability. Chapter 6. The man who reinvented himself. Roman Abramovich once represented the public face of Russian wealth, luxury homes, private jets, Chelsea Football Club, global recognition. Then everything changed. As political tensions escalated, Abramovich faced a choice: fight publicly or disappear strategically. He chose the second option. Assets moved, structures changed, public appearances became rare. The billionaire who once seemed impossible to ignore became increasingly difficult to track. And that transformation may have been one of the smartest decisions of his life.
Chapter 7. The Gas King of the Arctic. Leonid Mikhelson understood something many people overlooked. Energy isn't just about production, it's about logistics. The ability to move resources across oceans, borders, and political barriers. Through massive natural gas projects, his influence extended far beyond Russia. The challenge wasn't building infrastructure, the challenge was keeping it operational in a world becoming increasingly divided. And that's where strategy mattered more than size.
The popular image of Russian billionaires is simple: mega yachts, private jets, palaces, unlimited luxury. But luxury isn't what kept these men powerful. Adaptation did. Because when governments freeze assets, when borders close, and when entire industries come under pressure, survival becomes the ultimate status symbol. Some relied on global supply chains, some relied on mobility, some relied on secrecy, and some relied on influence. Different strategies, same objective: stay powerful no matter what changes around you. Because in the modern world, wealth alone isn't enough. The people who survive are the ones who can disappear without ever truly leaving. And that may be the most valuable asset of all.